And welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. We got Cardell Dudley Jr. joining us from Capital One Arena. The Washington Wizards fell to the Golden State Warriors this evening, 125 to 117. We saw Kristaps Porzingis uh, return to Washington, have himself a good night. D'Anthony Melton, Warriors went to get him a couple years ago. He got hurt. He's back healthy, and he had some exciting moments for them tonight. But Cardell, you were in the building. Want to get your thoughts on? We saw Washington with a good fight, but some of the things I touched on pregame, you know, uh, kind of hurt them. The turnovers, obviously, the second chance points, and then as always, the defense has been something we talk about all year. So that's evergreen. It's never going to change. But your thoughts on what happened in Capital One this evening?
I mean, the Warriors brought a high-powered bench. Kristaps Porzingis, Gary Payton II. Obviously both have played in some big-time games, proven champion. Well, Gary Payton the second champion. Yeah, Porzingis is a champion. He won, I believe, with Boston. So yeah,
Yep.
championship. They came off the bench and like from the opening tip, they got right to it. As soon as they checked in, they got right to it. When both teams were kind of going back and forth. Trey Bilal got off to good starts. Um, D'Anthony Melton, kid I was saying about V Santos and all them, they was kind of going back and forth. But when Porzingis and Gary Payton II checked in, that's when things changed. Then obviously the size of Porzingis inside, being as mobile as he was, now that limits, drives to the baskets, points in the paint and all that. And we know what Gary Payton II gonna do. He gonna lock up just like his pops. It's the family business. So, they suffocated Wizards defensively, and then they were scoring offensively. You know what I mean? And that kind of gave them the spark that the Warriors were needing. And then they just took it from there. And the Wizards fought. I will. That's all we ask. When we know what the situation is, just fight, man. Don't come in here and get blown up by that. And they fought. It was actually a very, very entertaining game. Going back and forth, guys were playing hard. But I just think the difference in the game was the bench. It's as simple as that. Like the bench point is 65-29 in favor of the Warriors, and Porzingis had 30 of that. I mean, we all know what he is. We know he's a starter or whatnot. But having that coming off the bench. That's a hell of a luxury, man. And that was the difference. Like, I think Porzingis outscored their entire bench. Yeah, they did. Yeah, he did. 10, 21, 29. Yeah, he outscored the Wizards' entire bench by himself. So that's just something tough to overcome. But with that being said, the Wizards starters did their thing. Trey, you can see it. You can see it. When he's in the game, this is what people don't understand. Point guard ain't about just having the ball in your hand, dribbling the score, man. He understands tempo. He understands how to manipulate defense. He understands how to control the game. And you can see the confidence in the young Wizards. They're not even fully healthy yet. You can see the confidence rise when he's on the floor. And he gets guys, as he's learning them, he's getting guys and getting them shots where they're best to shoot at. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't going to give it to you. You ain't a three-point shooter outside and you just throwing stuff up. You ain't getting the rock. You can just tell what that is. Like, you can tell him and Trey. When him and Trey in the backcourt, he's always trying to get Trey going. Because if Trey get going, that's a microwave type of scorer that can open things up for everybody else. And then when Trey get cool, he go do what he do. You know what I mean? And Koulibaly, you could just see the chemistry building with them young boys. When Trey's on the floor, so that's very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? That's very great to see. You know what I mean? Something to look forward to as they head into the off season and build this summer, man. Will Riley, that young boy, he just keeps getting better and better and better. Had a hell of a game, 21, 5 and 4, 6 of 13 from the field for the game. Obviously, him big shots. I think he understands what it takes now. This is the stage where the rookies are not really rookies anymore. They done played enough games where they starting to understand what it takes to thrive at this level. And you starting to see it with him, man. Certain guys, they may have some years on them, but over the summer, if he put in work, that wing battle gonna be hell. Come the next training camp, that wing battle gonna be mean, man. So Yeah, and then don't let the Wizards draft another wing. It's gonna be all out war for minutes, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, just throwing it out there, man. So, it is what it is. But Juju Reese, I thought he gave him good minutes. 12.6 rebounds. We know what he does. I'd like to see him, remain on the team going the next season because they need depth up front. Even when AD and all those guys get healthy, they need depth up front, and he does the dirty work. You know what I mean? But he's still skilled, can finish around the basket, hit free throws, got to get better defensively in certain ways, rotations and stuff because he picks up, just ticky-tack fouls a lot, and that hurts to keep him on the floor. But think about it, he was, 23 minutes, 12 and 6. He working on a double-double. You know what I mean? So that's what he does. You can pencil in. They need guys like that, man. But all in all, I love the Wizards fight, but, they ran into a team that's far more experienced and just have a lot more big game experience and a lot more firepower up and down the roster right now. And even with that, the game was close, man. So, very entertaining game, man. But it'll go a long way for the Wizards' growth as they're heading into the offseason.
Yeah, everything he said. Obviously, the confidence with Trey's on the floor. I also thought Bilal had probably one of his cleanest offensive nights, and I think a lot of that goes into what you were saying. Trey kind of set him up to get the ball in spots that Bilal likes to have the ball in. We saw him in the mid range most. He was inside the 3 point line most of the night. He did hit a three or two, but it never felt like he was just camping out there as we've seen him at times. Where it's kind of like, all right, Bilal, why are you just sitting out there? There's
Right.
other things you can bring to the table. Where tonight we saw all the different things he bring to the table, and he got going. We saw him attacking off the bounce. I thought it was a great point you made about Juju. Yeah, I'm gonna do the dirty work. They definitely need, for sure. Like definitely need it. And I give them credit tonight just for the way that they responded. Damn near to every Warriors run. They couldn't respond to all of them clearly because the Warriors won the game. But there were several instances in the game where Golden State looked like they would. We've seen times this year when those moments turned into double digit leads and the game's essentially over. And we get on here afterwards and go, oh, the game was over at this portion of the second quarter. Where tonight, a couple of those moments happened and Washington just found their way back into the game. And some
Right.
of it came on the defensive end because they turned Golden State over a couple of times to kind of disrupt those runs and get going. But yeah, I'm right with you with Will Riley. It's going to be the Hunger Games over there for minutes on the wing. It's going to be crazy, like really crazy. And Trey, I know left the game with the quad contusion. The broadcast said, but while he was in there, yeah, there's a different comfort level those kids play with when he's in there, and you can. The other thing is defenses treat Trey much differently, which frees things up for the kids. As we saw after he hit a couple baskets and GP hit a second, hey man, he started face guarding Trey. He started trapping him on the sideline. A couple possessions out the second half. Like, are you doing a little too much? Giving these kids a little too much confidence and squat all that out. Clearly the message came from the Warriors bench. Like, hey, chill out with all that. We don't need all that. We don't need that here. But again, we haven't seen everything whole. Good fight tonight, and again, it's 15 games left, I believe. But player of the game for you.
Yeah, Porzingis for sure. He was just a matchup nightmare. Yeah, and even trying to get points in the paint, it was none of that, man. Like points in the paint. I mean, they got it when he was out, but they only got 46 points in the paint. You know what I mean? Out of that 117. Meanwhile, the Warriors got 68. So yeah, man. 7-3 is 7-3.
Who knew? Who knew? High in athleticism kind of does stuff. Mobile 7-3 probably impacted the game on the defensive end. Xfactor for you.
Ooh, that gets interesting. I'm gonna go with Anthony Melton. Man, that dunk he had. That's NBA stuff. He called me off guard. I was like, oh, he about to finger roll this, and he punched on. I was like, Lord, I was like, oh, like, hey, man, that's if it's a play that kind of just shows you what the NBA is all about. It's that. And Washington Wizards, we're just covering the team. Don't take it. Don't take this personal. Hey, it's business. Oh, you cut it off before you put it down.
You already started the disclaimer, man. But look, They posted it one. So yeah, that was a. I thought he was going to punch it. I just didn't think it was going to be that violent. I was like, okay, you feeling real good tonight. But
I
part of
can't
me was
remember the
like,
last time I seen
Sharif,
catch about
it's been
catch
a couple
about man. I
years.
thought, yeah, I just can't even remember him in his career. Like normally, he just lay up, shoot the jumper type of dude. But yeah, man, he that was nasty, man. Especially with Cooper there. I know him like he little guy, but he's not a guy in the league where if you throw names out there, guys who will catch a body,
Yep.
he's not one of them. You know what I'm saying? And there you go. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the NBA is all about. The people everybody can play, and that's the whole point, man. But nah, he was a monster tonight. 27, 5 and 4, 12 of 17, 12 of 17 from the field, and he ain't hit a three. 27 and only 3 or 3 from the free throw line. All that came from work. 24 of that 27 came from work. So there you go, man. He was huge tonight.
Oh yeah, there's no argument there. D Santos had a really good night. It feels weird to say kind of like a quiet 18, 4 and 4, but he's really productive. But not D'Anthony went off. Um, he was huge. I felt like he got going before Porzingis got going, and then once KP got going, that was it, as you said. KP and GP came in there. But Washington has 3 more games this week, so we're gonna see you guys quite a bit. They got the Pistons in their building tomorrow, so we will see you guys then. Have a good evening.